it cannot be a learned behavior then, because one of the excuses I gave my uncle, and I don't know if this is true or not, but the excuse that I gave and the excuse that you often hear in public discourse is they were molested as a child. And so, and I never knew, I don't know categorically if he was molested as a child, but there was always the family rumor was he and his dad didn't get on very well. So what that means, who knows? But hey, so I deducted from that, well, he was maybe molested as a child and it's a learned behavior. But what you're saying is that may be true for a kid molester, child molester, but not for a pedophile. Is that the distinction?
Yes. The pattern that the literature shows is not so much that being a victim of sexual abuse makes one more likely to commit sexual abuse. The overall pattern is that chaos begets chaos. People who grew up in difficult circumstances, whether it's sexual abuse, physical abuse, neglect, are more likely to engage in, those kinds of poor parenting behaviors, if I can refer to it that way, with their own kids. And it could be sexual abuse, it could be physical abuse, it could be neglect. There is no like makes like association where the sexual abuse is more likely to beget sexual abuse, in a way that would suggest a learning process. Really, what we seem to see is that in chaotic childhoods, people don't form, self-restraint skills as much as other people. So when they face the stresses of parenthood in later life, they are more likely to express in, antisocial ways, whatever, emotions it is, whatever, violent or abusive instincts that they themselves are feeling. So it's that behavioral disinhibition that appears to go from generation to generation, rather than actual pedophilia, the sexual attraction pattern going from generation to generation. It's just that, if one happens to be pedophilic or have, any other sexual atypicality, if one is going to express it inappropriately, then that's going to be the behavior that they're more likely to express inappropriately. But there's no good evidence to have suggested. The nickname for it is, we called it the abused abuser hypothesis, that being the victim of abuse made one more likely to commit it. But in none of the follow-up studies, but that wasn't the pattern really that emerges from follow-up studies. It's much more, chaotic childhoods beget chaotic adulthoods seems to be the pattern.